If I was starting a business in 2026, this is exactly what I'd do. Before I jump into any of the steps, let me give you some context on why this matters. I've spent the last decade and a half coaching and training entrepreneurs to help them break through ceilings they thought were once permanent. I've had successes, I've had failures, and I've learned over the years that sometimes working harder isn't the answer, it's thinking at a higher level. What I'm about to share isn't theory. These are principles driven from my best-selling books. The first book that I released was called 5+1, The Entrepreneur's Formula for Success. The next book was Now Make Good. Right? This is a inspirational and motivational book to help you raise to the next level. And my most recent book is The Impact Effect that just got published. This helps purpose-driven entrepreneurs become impact players in the marketplace. The principles from these books have helped entrepreneurs create more discipline, purpose, and clarity. So if I were starting a business in 2026, here's exactly what I would do. Step 1. Clarify the calling. First thing I would do is I would stop and I would think. I would think about the direction and the mission that I'm on. In my book 5+1, I talk about the vision and the mission. So you don't stumble upon success. You actually have to visualize it. You have to clarify it, and then you can go fast. Here's a few questions I would ask. Who is it that I feel called to serve? What problem specifically am I trying to solve? And how can I help people cut down and compress time to see success more quickly? When I started my company, Master Networks, I didn't have it all figured out. We didn't even pretend to have it all figured out. But we knew one thing, is that we wanted to serve entrepreneurs and help them grow through relationships and structured networking organization. This clarity gave us direction long before we had the resources to actually implement it. If you skip this step, everything becomes noise. It gets cluttery and noisy, and you're not sure how to move forward. Step 2. Define success before you chase it. In my second book, Now Make Good, I define this. You have to get clear about the success you want to achieve, because if you're not clear on your vision, you'll become part of someone else's. So early on, I would clearly define what success looks like for you financially, spiritually, in your business, in your relationships, and so on. I believe I have a moral obligation to be successful, not just for myself, but for those that count on me every single day. By the way, that belief helps you show up differently. It gives you intentionality and it forces you to show up in a different way. Undefined success creates frustration, but defined success creates clarity and focus. Step 3, design the business around impact, not ego. In my most recent book, The Impact Effect, I talk about the difference between an impact player and a person of interest. See, a person of interest says, how do I get noticed? A person of impact says, whom do I serve and how can I serve them? So at this step in the business, I would design it around transformation, not your transformation, but the transformation your customer experiences. Meaning, what does it look like before someone starts working with me versus what does it look like after they're working with me? When impact is clear, the value is obvious. And when the value is obvious, your growth is sustainable long-term. Step 4, choose one vehicle and commit fully. One of the biggest mistakes I see entrepreneurs make is they spread themselves way too thin. In my book 5+1 and The Impact Effect, I share with you how entrepreneurs typically, they overextend themselves and they try to work harder and harder. But the impact player, they understand one key word in business, and that's leverage. Here's what I mean. If in 2026, I would choose YouTube as my asset to grow and share the business, then I would commit to it fully and I would go all in on that, understanding that money follows assets. So if I commit fully, look, there's no dabbling, there's no bouncing from platform to platform, and there's no chasing trends. Consistency in this will build trust, and your trust will build momentum in the marketplace. Step 5, operate with a simple but reliable system. I don't believe in just buying into motivation by itself. In my coaching program, I teach simple accountability systems around a few questions. Here are the 5 questions of accountability. What were you trying to accomplish, or what was your goal? How did you do? How do you feel about it? What's your new goal? And what, if anything, will get in the way of you accomplishing that new goal? When I was building Master Networks, my company, progress didn't come through inspiration alone. The progress came through discipline. See, that discipline and systems create freedom, not restriction. It's that discipline and structure which allows your creativity to flourish. And I always say that you must master the models of discipline before creativity. Step 6, measure what matters most, not just what feels good in the business. In my book 5+1, I talk about knowing your numbers. Not just knowing your numbers to judge yourself or to feel good or to feel bad about yourself, but to actually guide yourself in the business, making smart financial decisions based on numbers. Remember, feedback is the breakfast of champions. So at this stage, I would be looking for feedback based on data. So that feedback could look like several things. How many leads am I getting? How many appointments am I getting? How many sales am I making? Are people engaging with my content? Are they responding to my messages? These are the types of data points I would want to measure at this point in the business. Remember, the data isn't personal, but it's directional. It's going to help you know where to focus your energy most, and not just what to do, but also what to stop doing. Leaders who grow don't fear feedback, they hear feedback, and they implement the feedback they hear. Step 7, repeat what works and release what doesn't. What's important about this step is where maturity shows up in the business owner. In my book, The Impact Effect, I talk about high-level impact players. They don't chase trends, right? They don't look for trends and chase them. They actually recognize and adopt the patterns in business. If something works, double down. If something doesn't, cut it and let it go. No ego, no attachment, no wasted energy. Interesting point here. Progress will explode when your ego gets out of the way. Step 8, multiply your impact through leverage. Finally, I would look for ways to extend what already works through leverage. In every single one of my books, I talk about how you break through ceilings of achievement, how you get to the next level. Leverage isn't about doing less. Leverage is about, if I'm going to put 1 unit of effort in, I want to get 4 units of return, ROI, and that could be on my time, my energy, or my resources. So for example, if I'm going to do an activity, something like recording this video, and I'm going to put 1 unit of effort in, how can I get 4 out? So I could record this video as a long form video, and then I could cut it into multiple short form reels or shorts that I could display on social media. Another way I could leverage is through technology or through people. See, if I'm going to do one thing more than once, I want to document that process and then start to say, whose is it to do? Because it's not always mine to do. So if I were building a business in 2026, I wouldn't just build for quick wins. Yes, I need revenue, but I want to build a business that's impactful and a business that lasts. When your purpose is clear and your systems are aligned and your growth becomes accelerated, then business growth isn't accidental, it's inevitable. This is how I built a business that lasts in 2026.